I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 1. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Author, the first small watermelon of national service. Introduction. Yifan traveled through the world of Naruto and became a member of the Uchiha family, but he was cast aside by everyone because he didn't write the Wheel Eye, and became the of plague in Konoha village. Yifan is very confused. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no bloodline limit. At the age of 3, he fought Uchiha Itachi, and at the age of 13, he was invincible to the entire ninja world. 5 shadows, crazy. Do you call this garbage without the boundaries of blood? Uchiha Madara, my Uchiha clan finally has a master who swept the ninja world. Hashi Hot Mom tremble. The Otsutsuji clan, damn, who blew up my moon. 6 paths immortal. It seems that our cultivation path is wrong, Yifan's cultivation method is correct. The introduction is weak, please see the text. Chapter 1 Chunin Exam. Wow! These pairs of pandas are so big. The figure and appearance are simply impeccable. A middle-aged man with long white hair stared at the women's bathroom not far away on the mountain, a large string of slapsticks dripped from the corner of his mouth, and exclaimed. Yoshi, they are already considered to be the best batch of beauties I have encountered since this trip. Ugh! A helpless sigh sounded, and a boy of about 13 years old shook his head and glanced at the white-haired man with no love. Jiraiya, can't we do something positive? For example, rob the rich to save the poor. Gather intelligence. It's okay to help the old lady to cross the road. Madam? Where is the wife? Does the wife look good-looking? Jiraiya turned his head sharply and glanced around. After looking at it for a long time, except for the rocks and trees all over the mountain, Mao didn't see a single one. Ji Lai also frowned, and warned very seriously. Wear steel plate Yifan. This kind of thing is no joke, madam. Next time you lie to me, I will beat you up. After finishing the harsh words, Jiraiya turned around again and stared at the bathroom not far away, looking at it with gusto. Yifan rolled his eyes, speechless. God Nima's wife, it's an old lady. Sure enough, Chow Chow will die, but Chow Thief will never die. Yifan has grown up with Jiraiya since he was a child, and he is no stranger to all this. Habits are a terrible thing. If it wasn't for Yifan's long-standing knowledge, Jiraiya is one of the legendary 3 ninjas, the early battle power ceiling. Looking at his series of operations, Yifan would really think that he was adopted by a pervert. Yifan was a platinum writer in his previous life. The novels he wrote were all read by handsome men and beautiful women. Once crossing the road, he was hit by a car that ran a red light, and then came to Naruto world. Yifan was a Naruto fan in his previous life and knew everything that happened to Naruto. Like his characters, he also gained a system. The system initially provided Yifan with 2 options. 1. Obtain the entire inheritance of the first generation of Naruto Senju, the of ninjas, including the inheritance of the Azura bloodline. When Yifan saw the first choice, he jumped up with excitement. He knew very well how strong Senju Hashima was, but he was a man who could use only 998 hands to fight Uchiha Madara. 9 tails are in his hands, but they are just a small pet, the worthy of ninjas. If nothing else, after obtaining the inheritance of Qianshu, the house does not need to worry anymore. The technique of wood done, 3 rooms and 1 hall, and the technique of wood done, a villa, isn't that easy to grasp. Seeing the first choice, Yifan did not hesitate and wanted to choose it on the spot. But when the second option appeared, let him stop immediately. 2. After obtaining the bloodline of Saiyan's son Wukong, you will not be able to learn all the ninjutsu in Naruto world after selecting it. When Yifan saw this choice, everyone was numb. Saiyan bloodline came to the Naruto world, isn't that a proper dimensionality reduction blow? Yifan guessed that there is a first-order Super Saiyan who can penetrate the entire Naruto world. Although ninjutsu is handsome and Mudun is cocky, he can't stand the strength and temptation. Yifan resolutely chose Saiyan bloodline. Ninjutsu is not ninjutsu, it seems that it is not so important. Yifan, let's get closer, it's too far here, I can't see clearly. Jiraiya is also flowing with laziness, intending to take a step closer. Jiraiya, are you sure you want to go forward? We are separated from the bathroom, at most 7 or 8 meters. Humph, I'm not trying to find a way for you to practice. Otherwise, how could I, the dignified toad immortal from Yamu Mountain, peep at such an ordinary person? That's why you took me everywhere to peek at beautiful women. Yi Fan pointed to the slap print on Jiraiya's face, and along the way, the slap print on Jiraiya's face never disappeared. Often the old is just about to dissipate, and the new comes. Can a who writes a novel be called a voyeur? I'm taking material, it's art. Zilai also pinched Yi Fan's face and said, By Xia, I have raised you for so many years, how much suffering and beatings have I suffered so that you can cultivate? At the end of the day, I don't even have a teacher. If you don't call me, you have to stop me. Jiraiya, I really don't need to practice ninjutsu, the physical skills you taught me are enough. No, you need ninjutsu, you need to practice. Ji Lai also wiped the saliva from the corner of his mouth and sneaked towards the bathroom. As soon as he descended the mountain, Yi Fan heard a burst of beatings and scolding. Smelly old man. How dare you peep at our sisters taking a bath? Big satyr. Die for me. It's shameless to do this at such an old age. Hey hey. Ladies, please listen to my explanation, I'm not peeking at you, I'm a writer, I'm taking material. Go to hell, can the nosebleed be taken out? I'm not ashamed. When Yi Fan saw Jiraiya again, Jiraiya had already been beaten to such an extent. The nose is blue, the face is swollen, the eyes are blistered, and the mouth is almost smashed. Huh, Jiraiya, I see your current appearance, it fits the temperament of the toad immortal. Go away, you disrespectful stinky boy, I was beaten so badly by those girls, I won't even come to help. Ouch, it hurts, none of those girls are easy to mess with, it's really black to start. Jiraiya touched his swollen face and wailed. Help. What can I help? Go up and get beaten with you. Yi Fan said with a schadenfreude smile. Jirai also rolled his eyes, pinched his fingers, and said, the Chunin exam should start soon, you can go back to the Konoha exam. Just to let you see the gap between yourself and Chunin, so as not to talk big all day long. By now, Jiraiya also believed some rumors. In the past, I stole resources by myself, and I have never been beaten. And since he brought Yi Fan, he was beaten every day. He planned to let Yi Fan go to see if he would still be beaten. Is this year's Chunin exam about to start? Yi Fan figured it out, this Chunin exam happened to be Naruto's session, and it was also the session where the 3 generations of Naruto Sarutobi died. What? Are you afraid? Zilai also looked at Yi Fan and said, what about the usual bragging? Are you afraid of death now? Afraid? What are you kidding me? I'm afraid. Jiraiya, I just told you, this year I will take a Chunin exam for you to see. Yo, it's not bad, I hope you won't be beaten and cry when the time comes. I can remind you in advance that you were beaten and cried, but I won't stand up for you. Che, who wants you to stand up for me? Let's go. Yi Fan said. Go. Where to go? Zilai was also a little at a loss. Go back to the Konoha exam. I don't take the test, why am I going back? Not to mention I have to peep. No, I'll find a way for you to practice. Yi Fan was at a loss for words. The sky was clear, and it rained again. When the raindrops fell on Yi Fan suddenly thought of something, and said with some worry. Jiraiya, why don't you go back to Konoha with me? After all, Yuin village is not our territory, I'm a little worried about your safety. Yo, stinky boy, you are playing emotional cards with me. You are afraid of danger on the road. You should take care of yourself first and think about what to do to return to Konoha village safely. As soon as the voice fell, Jiraiya's figure disappeared. Chapter 2 Xiao Li's Challenge. Boom! Yi Fan killed him with a punch, and after the last Yui Murakami who surrounded him, he patted the blood on the corner of his clothes and continued on his way. Peace is really something that is hard to expect in this era. The major countries are suspicious of each other. For other ninjas that appear on their own territory, they all use the thunder method of direct killing. Even this Chunin exam is a method for each major country to test their strength. Yi Fan stepped out more than 10 meters in one step, his eyes were cold. After coming to this world for so many years, he has long been accustomed to the cruelty of this world. He doesn't have many ideals and ambitions, he just wants to make up for the regrets in his previous life and prevent some things from happening. As for the thankless thing that unifies the ninja world, Yi Fan is not very interested. Since ancient times, the long-term relationship must be divided, and the long-term separation must be combined. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 2. Merely relying on the method of unification by force is destined to not last long. If we want to truly achieve unity, we can only start from ideas and culture, regardless of you and me. Only when the ideas are consistent and there is no conflict in the culture can real unity be achieved. In today's ninja world, it is obviously very difficult to unify in this way. 3 days later, Yi Fan returned to the door of Konoha village again after many years. Looking at the door of Konoha, Yi Fan was filled with emotion. In the past, he carried a lot of things in this place that ordinary people could not bear. If it wasn't for his far superior mind, he might have died when he was 3 years old. Hello, please register here. The Chunin who guarded the gate opened his mouth. Now, during the Chunin exam, Konoha guarded a lot in order to prevent spies from other countries from sneaking in. On the bright side, there are more than a dozen Chunin, and several Shangnin. Yi Fan also found no less than 20 Umbun ninjas hiding in the dark. What's your name, what country are you from, and are you here to take the Chunin exam? Why are you alone? The guard held a notebook in his hand and kept questioning it. Looking at the blood on Yi Fan's body, the guard's question became even more tricky. The eyes of the Chunin around him also fell on Yi Fan. It seemed that as long as there was something wrong with him, he could take him down at any time. Yi Fan looked calm and unaffected, and replied calmly. Rizu and Steel, Yi Fan, Konoha, came back to join Chunin, but I didn't find a teammate, so I was alone. Are you from our Konoha? The Chunin who recorded the record stopped the pen in his hand and looked up at Yi Fan with a bad look. At the same time, more than a dozen Chunin members came over and surrounded Yi Fan. Yes. Yes. I've been in Konoha for so many years, and I've never heard of the Hyuga clan, and I've never heard of the Rikuan Steel clan. Take him. The guard roared, and a dozen or so Chunin rushed up. At this juncture, protecting Konoha's safety is their top priority. It is better to kill 1,000 mistakes than to let one go. Hee, is this how you enforce the law? Yi Fan kept dodging, smiling playfully. He didn't make a move, and escaped more than a dozen attacks one after another. Stop. Just when they wanted to continue to shoot, a Konohakami stopped. It's you. After so many years, you are still alive. The Hunin was a little surprised and looked up and down at the current Yi Fan. Yi Fan didn't want to talk nonsense with them, so he took out a wooden sign with the word boil written on it from his pocket and threw it to the Hunin. At the end of the day, it seemed that the Jonin understood something, and instantly felt that it was a matter of course for Yi Fan to survive. When the Chunin people saw the wooden sign, they were so shocked that they couldn't even speak. They knew exactly what that wooden sign represented. Can I go in? Yi Fan asked. Yes, yes. A group of Chunin immediately made way for Yi Fan. They looked at the back of Yi Fan's departure, and couldn't help but swallow a saliva. He turned out to be one of the legendary 3 ninjas, the apprentice of Lord Jiraiya. Master Jiraiya hasn't returned to the village for many years. I didn't expect to send an apprentice back this time. Daily wear steel plate Yi Fan. Why is this name so familiar? Evan. Is he? Someone remembered what happened 10 years ago, and their pupils dilated rapidly. The Umbu ninja, who was hiding in the shadows, also conveyed the news to the 3 generations of Naruto Sarutobi and Shimura Danzo immediately. Yi Fan's return to Konoha caused an uproar among the top of Konoha. Shimura Danzo frowned when he heard the news. He was very confused, and he was a little undecided for a while. He really wanted to send someone to kill Yi Fan, but considering Jiraiya's reasons, it was too late to do it. Send someone to monitor him at all times. If he dares to do anything that threatens Konoha's safety, shoot him. Shimura Danzo hesitated for a moment and gave an order. Danzo is the representative of the Hawks in the high-level Konoha. For him, anyone who threatens Konoha's safety must die. At this point, he actually got the true biography of the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobarama. It seems that the senior officials of Konoha are very worried about my return. As soon as he entered Konoha village, Yi Fan felt several waves of people following him. Among them, there are people from Umbu and people with roots. Yi Fan ignored them and walked straight to the Chunin registration office. As soon as he arrived at the square outside the registration venue, Yi Fan saw a good show. I saw a man wearing green clothes with white bandages on his hands and feet, jumped from the second floor and blocked Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura. My name is Rock Lee, you are the genius who inherited the talent of the Uchiha family, Uchiha Sasuke, right? Sasuke glanced at Xiao Li coldly, his expression full of disdain. Uchiha Sasuke, I want to challenge you, let me see how strong you are, who inherited the talent of the Uchiha family. Xiao Li put on a stance, his eyes were firm, and his whole body was full of confidence. Facing this legendary Uchiha clan, he was not afraid, but very excited. Xiao Li looked at Sakura beside Sasuke, and his heart was full of joy, his thick eyebrows and big eyes smiled like a crescent moon. As long as you defeat Sasuke in front of Sakura, Sakura will definitely fall in love with me. Uchiha Sasuke, let's do it. Facing Xiao Li's provocation, Sasuke has no interest. In his eyes, the boy with thick eyebrows and big eyes in front of him, dressed in strange clothes, is not worthy of being his opponent at all. Seeing this, Naruto was very upset. All the time, everyone's eyes were on Sasuke, and he was completely used as a background board. Naruto is determined to prove himself and prove that he is no weaker than Sasuke. Luoli, Naruto Uzumaki, will beat you up in 5 minutes. Naruto roared and rushed towards Xiao Li. Xiao Li's face was calm, and when he raised one hand, a chicken pecking at the rice knocked Naruto to the ground. Naruto stood up quickly and charged up again. Xiao Li lowered his body, swept his legs, and knocked Naruto to the ground again. You can't be my opponent, I'm the strongest in Konoha's shinobi. Hearing this, Sasuke became interested and planned to teach Xiao Li a lesson. Not far away, Yi Fan couldn't help laughing when he saw that the cold Sasuke was about to shoot. It looks like Sasuke is going to be beaten up. Yi Fan's laughter instantly caught the eyes of Xiao Li and the others. Sasuke, who was about to duel with Xiao Li, also turned to look at Yi Fan. The moment he saw Yi Fan, his pupils instantly enlarged, his fists clenched tightly, and his whole body was shaking. The black pupils gradually turned red, turning into Urgu jade writing round eyes. Gritting his teeth, he roared, Uchiha Yi Fan. Chapter 3 Angry Sasuke. Uchiha Yi Fan. When Xiao Sakura and the others heard this, they were instantly stunned and at a loss. Uchiha wasn't exterminated, was Sasuke and a traitor left? Yi Fan looks similar to their age, and it doesn't look like a betrayal. In contrast, Naruto's reaction was very different from theirs. You are Rikwon's Steel Yi Fan. Naruto was very excited, took 2 steps at a time, ran to Yi Fan's side, and looked up and down. Long time no see, have you grown so big? A little taller than me, and more handsome, seems to be more handsome than Sasuke. Naruto, long time no see. Yi Fan smiled gently, completely ignoring the angry Sasuke. Naruto, do you know him? Xiao Sakura felt a little surprised, looking at Yi Fan's appearance. She was crazy, her face turned red like a monkey's butt. It seems, he is really more handsome than Sasuke. No. Sakura shook her head, I like Sasuke, I can't like anyone else. Let me introduce you, Yi Fan is my good friend, we have known each other since childhood. Naruto said with a big smile. Naruto was very happy to see his childhood playmate. As a child, Naruto was ostracized by everyone in the village, as was Yi Fan. That's how, the two of them have a lot of common language, and Yi Fan is also happy to play with Naruto. Yi Fan admired Naruto's unyielding energy and optimistic attitude no matter what happened. Have you known each other since childhood? I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 3. Sakura frowned, constantly recalling the past. Suddenly, she remembered the child who used to play with Naruto when she was a child, and shouted, "You are the plague of the Uchiha clan. You're not dead." Hearing this, Shaoli also remembered this. When the Uchiha family had a plague god, it could be said that there was a lot of uproar in Konoha. The Uchiha family was born with the bloodline of Sharingan. Most of the Uchiha clansmen can basically open their eyes. Even if there are Uchiha clansmen who can't open their eyes for life, Uchiha's blood still flows on their bodies. However, Yi Fan is different. Although his parents are from the Uchiha clan, there is no trace of Uchiha blood on his body, and there is no bloodline limit at all. This was discovered by the Uchiha clan when he was just born. A Uchiha tribe without any bloodline boundaries is like a different species. I don't know when, among the Uchiha clan, there was a story. Yi Fan is the of plague who will bring disaster to the Uchiha family and even the entire Konoha. In the second year of Yi Fan's birth, the Nine-Tails Rebellion occurred in Konoha, and because of this incident, the Uchiha family was completely driven to the fringes to survive. After this incident, Yi Fan was the of plague, and it became more and more serious. Yi Fan's family has also become a street rat that everyone shouts and beats. The high-level officials of the Uchiha clan kept putting pressure on the patriarch Uchiha Fuyue, asking him to sanction Yi Fan and kill Yi Fan to avoid future troubles. Uchiha Fuyue, he did not believe this rumor and suppressed the rumor several times, but he still did not suppress it. Almost all the Uchiha people want Yi Fan to die. Yi Fan's parents, in order to save Yi Fan's life, chose to apologize to death, only to ask them to let Yi Fan go. After Yi Fan's parents died, the matter improved a little, but there were still many Uchiha people who wanted Yi Fan to die. Until Yi Fan was almost 4 years old, the Uchiha family ushered in a disaster. In that battle, Yi Fan tried his best to save his life, escaped Konoha, and was finally adopted by Jiraiya. Everyone thought that Yi Fan died in that battle. He was the of plague, and it has been passed down to this day with the demise of the Uchiha family. Yi Fan reappeared in Konoha today, which surprised too many people and shocked too many people. Yi Fan is not the of plague, he is my good friend. Naruto, who has always liked Sakura very much, was a little annoyed when he heard Sakura say that. Even after so many years, Naruto still has a fresh memory of what happened when he was a child. Yi Fan was like a light in his life, illuminating those dark days. So far, Naruto still remembers what Yi Fan said to him: "You don't have to care about other people's eyes, just be yourself and do what you think is right." Naruto. For a time, Sakura was also taken aback by Naruto's sudden change of attitude. She didn't expect that Naruto, who had always been around her and obeyed her, would talk to her like this. Yi Fan patted Naruto on the shoulder, a little moved. After so many years, this little brat who used to be behind his is still the same as before, not changing at all. "Naruto, get out of the way." Sasuke, who opened the Sharingan, stared at Yi Fan, furious. Since the demise of the Uchiha family, he has attributed most of the reasons to Yi Fan in addition to Uchiha Itachi. He believes that without the appearance of Yi Fan, the of plague, the Uchiha family might not have perished. At first, he thought that Yi Fan was already dead, so he had been training hard all the time to seek revenge on Itachi. But now, seeing Yi Fan again, there is naturally one more person on his must-kill list. "You want to kill me?" Yi Fan looked at Sasuke, who opened Urgayu's riding wheel, and burst out laughing. He couldn't help it. "Naruto, go away. If you want to stop me from killing him, I don't mind killing you." "Sasuke, Naruto is our companion. How can you say that?" Sakura opened her mouth to persuade. Yi Fan looked at Xiaoying and couldn't feel any favor at all. Xiaoying completely regards herself as King Xian of Qi. "Companion?" Sasuke sneered, "As long as those who stop me from revenge are not my companions." "Sasuke, I can understand your feelings, but the demise of the Uchiha family has nothing to do with Yi Fan." Naruto opened his hands and stood in front of Yi Fan, his eyes resolutely set. Even though Yi Fan belongs to your Uchiha clan, he is different from you. He doesn't have the Shueji Bianjia Shunyan that you are proud of. If you are determined to kill him, don't blame me, I will beat him until you don't want to kill him. Ha, Naruto, you are such a coward that you dare to say nonsense. I don't mind killing you with me. Sasuke roared and rushed towards Naruto. He planned to beat Naruto to the ground first, and then kill Yi Fan. Art Fire escaped Fireball. Sasuke quickly formed a seal, and a fire burst out from his mouth, burning it at Naruto. Seeing this, Naruto immediately took Yi Fan to dodge. Yi Fan, you are not Sasuke's opponent, you should stay away first. Don't worry, as long as I am here, I will never let Sasuke hurt you. As soon as the words fell, Naruto squeezed his fist and was about to kill Sasuke. Naruto, let me come. Yi Fan grabbed Naruto's hand and looked at Sasuke calmly. Chapter 4: The Master of Physical Art. Evan, you. Naruto's eyes were full of worry. Sasuke was a well-known genius boy, a genius who inherited the Wheel Eye. And Yi Fan, although he is a descendant of the Uchiha clan, is an alien without any bloodline boundaries. What does he use to fight Sasuke? Isn't this pure wanting to be beaten? Besides, looking at Sasuke's posture, it doesn't seem like a joke, it really wants to kill Yi Fan. Naruto, don't worry, it's just Sasuke, I can crush him with one finger. Today, I will teach this stupid little brother a good lesson and let him keep a low profile in the future. Yi Fan. You give me death. You of plague, you don't deserve to have anything to do with me, you don't deserve to be a Uchiha clan. Sasuke didn't talk nonsense with Yi Fan, and rushed towards Yi Fan at the fastest speed. The hatred that had been in his heart for a long time completely controlled him at this moment. He just wanted to kill Yi Fan, avenge his parents, and avenge his clan. Haha. In Yi Fan's view, Sasuke's movements were too slow. Sasuke's attack method, in his eyes, is also full of loopholes. Yi Fan is very confident, such a Sasuke, he has at least 1,000 ways to kill him. Sasuke slapped Yi Fan's head with a whip leg, Yi Fan turned slightly sideways, and easily dodged. Then, Yi Fan lightly touched Sasuke's waist, and Sasuke was shot 3 or 4 meters away. The speed is too slow, the strength is too weak, and the attack method is too simple. Yi Fan shook his head, now that he is facing Sasuke, it is completely a dimensionality reduction blow. When Yi Fan was more than 3 years old, he was able to escape from Uchiha Itachi, who had a kaleidoscope, let alone Sasuke, who only had Ergyushin. Sasuke stepped back 4 or 5 meters, staring at Yi Fan with a heavy face. Yi Fan looked very casual, but he almost lost consciousness, and now he still feels kidney pain. Why is his speed so fast, even my Sharingan didn't catch his action. Sasuke was very shocked, he smelled a dangerous smell from Yi Fan's body, just like he faced Itachi. Sasuke, are you alright? Xiaoying shouted worriedly, she didn't see how Yi Fan made his move. By the time she reacted, Sasuke had already been knocked into the air. Yi Fan, how did you become so powerful? I remember that you couldn't condense chakra. Could it be? Could it be that you only rely on the power of your body? Naruto opened his mouth in surprise. He didn't expect Sasuke, who is known as the genius of Konoha, to be repelled by Yi Fan so easily. Physique, Master. When Xiaoli saw Yi Fan evading the attack, the first thing that came to his mind were these 4 words. He is also a ninja who practices taijutsu, so he naturally knows how difficult Yi Fan's seemingly random movements are. Yi Fan does not have the limit of blood and cannot condense chakra, so he chose the most difficult physique to cultivate. It seems that he has also endured a lot of unbearable ordeals. Xiaoli admires Yi Fan a little, this is what they can understand only if they practice physique together. Sasuke, who was ridiculed, had a gloomy expression on his face. His self-esteem is not allowed to be mocked by Yi Fan, the plague of the Uchiha clan. Sasuke looked around, predicting all possible ways Yi Fan could make a move. Without any hesitation, he rushed to Yi Fan again. At this moment, Xiaoli stood in front of Sasuke at a very fast speed. Sasuke, your opponent is me. Shaoli chose to challenge Sasuke here because he wanted to stand out in front of Shao Sakura, and he would not give up such a good opportunity. Go away. Sasuke's mood was already irritable, and it was even more unpleasant to see Shaoli blocking the way. Sasuke clenched his right hand and waved it towards Shaoli's head, trying to defeat Shaoli in the shortest possible time. In the face of Sasuke's tricky attack, Shaoli was not afraid. Raising his foot was a side kick. He didn't know how many times he had practiced this action, but he only remembered that there were dozens of wooden puppets that he had kicked. Snapped. Shaoli kicked Sasuke's chin and knocked it to the ground. Sasuke. Seeing this, Sakura immediately ran towards him, but then stopped slowly, standing still. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 4. Sasuke's eyes made her feel very scared. They had been together for so long, and it was the first time Sakura saw Sasuke like this. The coldness in his eyes and the murderous intent in his eyes were completely different from the usual Sasuke. At this moment, Sasuke seems to have completely changed a person. Rock Lee. Evan. Sasuke wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth, and stared at the two of them with a gloomy face. One after another, he was shot flying, which made him very angry. He is arrogant, he does not allow himself to fail like this, he cannot accept himself like this. Sasuke, you can't be my opponent. Shaoli put on a pose that he thought was handsome, and spoke plainly. While speaking, I didn't forget to sneak a few glances at Sakura, wanting to see if she was convinced by her handsomeness. Yi Fan was also very happy when he saw Shaoli and Sasuke fighting. He took out 2 handfuls of melon seeds and started eating them, as if he was watching a play. Not only was he not angry at Shaoli's intervention, but he was rather happy. He also wanted to see how many brushes the titled Doluo Luoli had. Oh, I can't be your opponent. A waste who can't practice ninjutsu, but also delusionally wants to defeat me who has Sharingan. Art Fire escape fireball. A flame spewed out of Sasuke's mouth, killing Shaoli with the power of anger. I can't practice ninjutsu, but that doesn't mean I can't be a good ninja. Sasuke, stop here. Shaoli dodged the flames in one go, then circled behind Sasuke at a very fast speed, and decisively used his unique trick, Biao Lianhua. The bandages wrapped around his hands fell quickly, surrounding Sasuke, and he was about to tie him up. Just when the bandage was about to completely bind Sasuke, a red tortoise appeared out of nowhere and broke the bandage, separating the two of them. Immediately, a Mate Kai, wearing the same clothes as Shaoli, appeared with a bulge forward and backward. How can you shoot at your companions casually? Stupid. Mate Kai cursed loudly and punched Shaoli in the face, making Shaoli's nose bruised. Mr. Kai, I just want to challenge the talented young man who inherited the abilities of the Uchiha family. I want to prove that I can be an excellent ninja without the boundaries of blood. Shaoli, with a bruised nose and a swollen face, had tears in his eyes as he looked at Mate Kai affectionately. You, who can't practice ninjutsu, still challenged the genius young Sasuke without hesitation. Mate Kai was very moved, and looked at Shaoli with the same affection, tears welling up in his eyes. The master and apprentice looked at each other and hugged. Yes, this is youth. Ah. The change in the attitudes of Mate Kai and Shaoli made Chunin feel a little at a loss. They don't even know what's going on, there are such strange people. Naruto was different. He was very shocked. He didn't expect Shaoli to defeat Sasuke so easily. Yi Fan looked at Mate Kai who suddenly appeared and smiled dumbly. Who would have thought that this person who didn't look so serious would be a master who almost kicked out Uchiha Madara? Yi Fan glanced at Sasuke, and there was no turbulence in his heart. He didn't have the energy to explain to anyone that he was not the of plague. He never cared what others thought of him. Naruto, the Chunin exam is about to start, hurry up and leave. Yi Fan patted Naruto on the shoulder and walked towards the registration office for the Chunin exam. Huh. That child, why does he look so familiar? Mr. Kai, he is Uchiha Yi Fan, a master of physical art. Uchiha Yi Fan. He's still alive. He's still a master of physique. Mate Kai was astonished. Looking at Yi Fan's back, he suddenly felt that this Chunin exam would be different and more interesting. Chapter 5 The Real Purpose of Returning to the Village. Is he Uchiha Yi-fan? Hinata Niji and Tian Tian also came here behind Mate Kai. He and Tian Tian were very surprised when they heard the name. Like everyone else, they all thought that Yi-fan was already dead. Blind eyes. Hyuga Ningxi suddenly opened his eyes and looked at Yi-fan, opening the bloodline boundary that belonged to their Hyuga clan alone. He doesn't even have a chakra in his body. What? Mate Kai and Shaoli were shocked when they heard the news. They thought that even if Yi-fan did not inherit the bloodline of the Uchiha family, even if he practiced taijutsu, he should have chakra in his body. They did not doubt Niji's words in the slightest, they were clear about the function of the Hyuga clan's bloodline boundary. Literally, is Yi-fan's physical skills strong? Ningxi asked. Well, very strong, very strong. Shaoli remembered the scene where Yi-fan beat Sasuke with one move, but that was a shot that he didn't even see clearly. How does it compare to you? Well. Faced with this question, Shaoli was silent for a while and said, there should be no difference between us. This answer is Shaoli's thoughtful answer. Uchiha Yi-fan, is he that strong? Hearing this, Mate Kai was a little surprised. He is very clear about Shaoli's strength. Today's Shaoli has learned the 8 ways of doinjiao. And even so, Shaoli only dares to say that there is no difference, not who wins and who loses. He knows Shaoli's character very well, and he still has a bit of arrogance in his bones. To let Shaoli say such a thing proves that Yi-fan is indeed extraordinary. It seems that this time in the Chunin exam, you have another strong enemy, but I believe in you. Mate Kai laughed, he believed in the strength of these 3 students. Thank you, Teacher Kai. Shaoli's eyes were full of blood. Although the Chunin exam was as strong as a cloud, it did not frighten him. The appearance of Yi-fan also made him secretly make a decision in his heart to train harder in the future. Work hard, everyone. Let your youthful vitality burst out. Mate Kai slapped Niji and the 3 of them heavily, his eyes full of excitement, as if he was about to take the Chunin exam. Except for Shaoli's excited expression, Niji and Tian Tian were a little speechless. The 2 of them couldn't get enough of Matakai's excitement. However, Ningxi seemed to see through Shaoli's mind and said, Yi-fan may be very strong now, but he will never surpass you in the future, Shaoli. You are completely different from him. Although you can't practice ninjutsu, you are the same as us, and there are chakras in your body. A person without chakra support is destined to not be able to go far in the ninja. Hearing this, Mate Kai had a rare solemn expression on his face. He knew what Niji said, although it sounded a bit ugly, it was true. From ancient times to the present, no one without chakra in the body can be an excellent ninja. Even though, that person works very hard. Some things can't be overcome just by hard work. Let's go, the Chunin exam is about to start. Niji took the lead in walking towards the registration office, and he didn't give Sasuke a second look from the beginning to the end. In the eyes of others, Sasuke may be a genius who inherited the abilities of the Uchiha family. But in his eyes, there is nothing special. At least the current Sasuke is not worth mentioning in front of him at all. Sasuke looked at the backs of Niji and Shaoli as they left, and slammed the ground heavily. Although he was extremely unwilling and dissatisfied, he really lost to Shaoli. Yi-fan and Shaoli's actions greatly damaged his self-esteem. Especially Yi-fan, Sasuke does not allow himself to lose to the God of Plague of the Uchiha family, and does not allow himself to lose to Uchiha Yi-fan, who has no bloodline limit. Yi-fan. Sasuke's face was as gloomy as water, gnashing his teeth and swearing in his heart that he would definitely take his life himself. At the registration office for the Chunin exam, he saw Yi-fan with Kakashi, who was in love with heaven. Kakashi, who was born in Umbu, had already received the news that Yi-fan had returned to the village. Kakashi looked at Yi-fan not far away with a calm expression. Yi-fan met Kakashi's gaze and looked at the legendary Hitaki. He couldn't say that he liked Kakashi, and he couldn't say how much he hated him. In the previous life, Yi-fan was a complete Naruto fan. Throughout the whole play, he thought that Kakashi was really biased. Although Kakashi appeared to be Naruto's teacher, he actually didn't teach Naruto anything useful. The reason why Naruto was able to achieve that last achievement was largely due to Iruka and Jiraiya. Iruka and Jiraiya both played a particularly crucial role in Naruto's growth. After Kakashi looked at Yifan for a while, he turned his head back to the intimacy paradise. Yifan also went to the registration office and started the registration for the Chunin exam. The teacher at the registration office saw that only Yifan came alone, and his expressions were different. "Are you here to take the Chunin exam? Where's your companion?" a teacher asked. "I don't have a partner for now." Yifan told the truth. "No companions. I'm sorry, but you are not eligible to take the Chunin exam. The Chunin exam has clear rules, and it must be done in groups of 3. Please come back." The teacher at the registration office directly rejected Yifan's registration. At this time, another teacher said, "Where's your forehead guard? You don't even know how to endure, right?" He observed for a long time, but did not find out where Yifan was wearing Konoha's forehead protection. "At the moment, I really don't even count as a ninja. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit." Chapter 5. Yifan and Jirai also traveled outside all the year round, peeping at women everywhere. Practicing his actual combat ability everywhere, he didn't take the forbearance test at all. "Little devil, you are right. You're not even a ninja, why are you here to join in the fun? Hurry up, don't stay where it's cool, there are still many people waiting to sign up." The teachers in the registration office spoke with disgust, they thought that Yifan was here to make them happy. "Evan. Is it so unreliable to do things by yourself? Co-author, he asked me to take the Chunin exam, and he didn't say hello in advance. Where can I go to advance to Genin now, and where can I find 2 companions?" Yifan said he was speechless. But it's one thing to fail the exam. He is very upset with the Chunin's attitude at the registration office. Yifan shouted in a deep voice, "Can you take the test or not? Let's not talk about it, but why are you so arrogant? Can't speak well? Or do you think you're a Chunin because you're awesome?" Yifan didn't give them any face at all, and he wasn't afraid to offend them at all. Anyway, he didn't really want to take this broken exam. Those who took the Chunin exam were completely no different from 3-year-old children in his opinion. The reason why he promised Jiraiya to come back to take the Chunin exam this time is just to take this opportunity to return to Konoha and ask the 3 generations of Hokage something. As a descendant of a hero who protected Konoha village from destruction, Naruto lived so miserably as a child. Not to mention being discriminated against by everyone in the village, even the food he eats is so rubbish. In addition to instant noodles. In Yifan's view, Naruto is the one who should be blackened the most. The teachers in the Chunin registration office heard Yifan's arrogant words, their faces covered with black lines, and they were ready to teach him a lesson. Yifan looked at them, whistling with his hands behind his back, provocatively. "Boy, today I'll let you know why the flowers are so red." The teacher at the registration office stood up aggressively, extremely angry. Just as he was about to shoot, a ninja from Umbu suddenly appeared and stood in front of him. Chapter 6. Everyone here is rubbish. Senior, you are. When the teacher at the registration office saw the Umbu join in front of him, he immediately persuaded. Umbu Kamijin snorted coldly, "Report your name well." As soon as the voice fell, cold eyes fell on Yifan and asked. "Uchiha Yifan, are you sure you want to take the Chunin exam this time?" As soon as these words came out, the audience was in an uproar, all eyes fell on Yifan, and they discussed each other. Uchiha Yifan. That boy is actually a descendant of the Uchiha clan. Didn't you say that in this world, there are only the 2 Uchiha people, Rebel and Sasuke? Why did another Uchiha clan pop up? Those who were waiting to sign up, the genin from various villages, felt so unbelievable. Above the registration venue, it became extremely noisy in an instant, and everyone was discussing this issue. Even the teachers at the registration office had different expressions and complicated expressions. They were also very surprised. They never thought that there would be a 3rd Uchiha tribe in this world. Uchiha Yifan. Why is this name so familiar? Suddenly, the face of the teacher at the registration office changed greatly, and he shouted, "You are the one, the alien in the Uchiha clan, the of plague without the boundaries of blood. As soon as the words fell, everyone was stunned for a moment, and then there was a more intense discussion, just because they all remembered some rumors. At the beginning, the Uchiha clan was exterminated overnight, and the reasons for the extermination are different. Among the Uchiha clan, there is a rumor of a plague god, which is the most widely circulated. This rumor also convinces them the most. Both parents are from the Uchiha clan, but they gave birth to a person who does not have any Uchiha blood and cannot practice ninjutsu. In the Nine Tails Rebellion, Uchiha was exterminated, as if they were proving again and again that Yi Fan was of plague. Damn it, this of plague of Konoha didn't die. His life is really big. Uchiha has almost been exterminated, but he is still alive. This god of plague actually came to participate in this Chunin exam. There won't be any changes in the Chunin exam, right? Everyone blatantly and unabashedly discussed. They didn't take Yi Fan in their eyes at all. A Uchiha clan who couldn't cultivate was no different from a turkey dog in their eyes. What's more, watching Yi Fan lick his tongue. They planned that if Yi Fan could take this Chunin exam, he would be tortured and killed, and he would also enjoy the thrill of slaughtering the Uchiha people. Hearing everyone's sarcastic words, Yi Fan's heart was not disturbed. Just glanced at these ugly faces and wrote them all down. Prepare to let them know why the flowers are so red during the exam, and let them know what real power is. With the appearance of Umbu Ninja, Yi Fan knew that he would definitely be able to take the Chunin exam this time. Facing the questioning Umbu Ninja, Yi Fan said calmly, "Let me state first, I am Nippon Steel Yi Fan, not Uchiha Yi Fan. Why so much nonsense? Just say whether you want to take the Chunin exam or not." Umbu Ninja frowned slightly, already a little impatient. He didn't have any good feelings for Yi Fan at all. Join. Hearing this, Yi Fan said coldly, and he was very unhappy with the attitude of this Umbu Ninja. If it wasn't for the fact that Konoha was something Jiraiya always wanted to protect, that Umbu Ninja would have turned into a cold corpse by now. Let Yi Fan enter the examination room. Umbu Ninja took out a document with the name of the 3 generations of Naruto Sarutobi on it. Although the teacher at the registration office was a little unclear, he still put Yi Fan into the exam venue. Seeing that Yi Fan was the only one taking the Chunin exam, everyone just sneered. They know it's against the rules, but it's not unacceptable. After all, these are few people, not many people. If there are many people, they will never agree. Why did Yi Fan, the of plague, suddenly come to take the exam? There won't be any changes in this Chunin exam. The teacher at the registration office murmured and continued to work. As soon as he walked into the classroom where the Chunin exam was held, Yi Fan felt dozens of pairs, and his eyes fell on him with intense aggressiveness. Those eyes seemed to tear Yi Fan apart. Not long after Yi Fan entered the classroom, Naruto, Shikamaru, Hinata, and Niji also entered the classroom one after another. Following them was Yakushido, who had taken 7 consecutive Chunin exams. Sasuke saw the pharmacist come into the classroom and quickly walked to him. Yashido has collected a lot of information about ninjas in various villages, covering almost all people. Show me the information on Gaara of Sandine village, the information on Luoli, and the information on Uchiha Yi Fan. Sasuke, who was angry in his heart, had an almost imperative tone. Hearing the words, the pharmacist smiled. He didn't get angry or refuse. He took out 2 cards and placed them on the ground. One card has Gaara's photo on it, and the other is Xiao Li's photo. Where's Uchiha Yi Fan's? Sasuke frowned, extremely unhappy. I don't have any information about him. Uchiha Yi Fan seems to have appeared out of nowhere, and I have no chance to collect information about him at all. Humph. Sasuke snorted coldly, seriously looking at Gaara and Xiao Li's information. Originally, in this Chunin exam, Gaara was the only opponent in his heart, but the appearance of Luoli and Yi Fan changed his mind. Especially the appearance of Yi Fan completely aroused the hatred in his heart. After reading the information, Sasuke looked at Yi Fan, who was sitting in the corner, with cold eyes, filled with murderous intent. Yi Fan met Sasuke's gaze and smiled helplessly. He suddenly felt that he was threatened by an ant. Not to mention Sasuke in his childhood, even Sasuke who had samsara eyes in his prime, Yi Fan didn't take it seriously. Yi Fan's current strength, although only the strength of Sun Wukong when he first went to Namek, is not something they can shake. In the face of absolute power, all ninjutsu is a cloud, a piece of white paper that can be broken with a single poke. At the very beginning, what Yi Fan feared most was illusion. But after he fought Uchiha Itachi when he was more than 3 years old, and as his strength continued to grow, he was not afraid of any kind of illusion at all. Those so-called illusions might not even penetrate his breath. Even if he is hit by illusion, he will destroy all illusion space in the moment when he bursts out. Above the pulpit, Naruto lowered his head, his whole body trembling. Sakura, who was on the side, thought it was the first time Naruto saw so many strong men, and was frightened. Just when she was about to go up to comfort Naruto, she saw Naruto stand up suddenly, pointed at all the ninjas in the classroom, and shouted. "My name is Naruto Uzumaki, and I will definitely defeat you all." Sakura was a little stunned when she heard this. It turned out that Naruto was not trembling with fear, but trembling with excitement. For a time, the ninjas in the entire classroom cast murderous glances at Naruto. Almost all ninjas were very unhappy with Naruto at this moment. There are even a few ninjas who are ready to attack Naruto. Yi Fan in the corner looked at this scene and smiled dumbly. Such a confident appearance is Naruto Uzumaki. Immediately, Yi Fan also slowly walked up to the pulpit, and all the ninjas looked at his back and were a little confused. "Evan!" Naruto shouted excitedly when he saw Yi Fan walking towards him. With a smile on his face, Yi Fan pulled Naruto beside him, pointed at all the ninjas present, and said disdainfully. "Everyone here is rubbish. Chapter 7 Yi Fan's life can only be taken by me. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit." Chapter 6. Now that he has decided to take the Chunin exam, he will turn the world upside down, and take this opportunity to beat those people who are hiding in the dark. Today's Yi Fan is no longer the one, and the Yi Fan who let the clansman force his parents to death. Although Yi Fan was a traveler, it was his parents who gave him life. If the Uchiha clan did not exterminate, Yi Fan would not hesitate to kill those who had persecuted his parents. The death of his parents has always been a pain in his heart. Following the years of traveling abroad, Yi Fan has been thinking about a question. Where did the fact that he was the of plague came from in the first place? Is it from within Uchiha? Or the inside of Konoha? After thinking about it for a long time, Yi Fan felt that this news was likely to come from the high-level officials of Konoha. After all, the existence of the Uchiha clan has always been a thorn in the eyes of some high-level officials of Konoha. Yi Fan felt that he was the of plague, and it was very likely that the hawks in the high-level Konoha used to split the Uchiha clan. Moreover, the effect of this method is also obvious. At the beginning, it was because of this incident that the interior of Uchiha almost collapsed. He clearly remembered that on a rainy night, the top of the Uchiha clan blocked the house of the patriarch Uchiha Fuyue, forcing Fuyue to make a clear choice. Either kill him, or take the initiative to give up the position of the patriarch. This is after that day, Yi Fan's parents committed suicide and died for Yi Fan. To this day, Yi Fan still remembers what his parents said to him before they left. "Fanner, your father and I have saved some money for tasks over the years, which should be enough for you to be 18. You don't have chakra in your body, and you don't have the blood of the Uchiha family, so you don't choose to be a ninja. My father and I only hope that you can grow up healthy and happy. Actually, it's good to be a commoner and live a normal life. Money, spend it when it should be spent, and save it when it shouldn't, but don't treat yourself badly. Now that you are growing up, eat more meat. The most important thing is to never drink alcohol before the age of 18, and don't get into the habit of gambling. Don't have any psychological burden, you are not the of plague, you are the baby of your parents, and you will always be. Their kind faces will always remain in Yi Fan's heart. Although he didn't get along with them for a long time, Yi Fan could clearly feel their love for him. Many times, Yi Fan felt very guilty. His parents, to a large extent, died because of him, because he was burdened with so many rumors. If it wasn't for me, they might have lived another 2 years. At first, my strength was too weak, but now it's different. It won't be long before I can see you again. Returning to Konoha village this time, Yi Fan was on the one hand to figure out some things, and on the other hand to capture Orochimaru. In the current ninja world, only Orochimaru can do that forbidden technique, reincarnating from the dirty earth. However, the reincarnation of the dirty soil at this stage is something that Yi Fan despises. After Yi Fan had captured Orochimaru, he was going to force him to study the reincarnation of the dirty earth and reincarnate when his parents were at their peak. The next step is to capture the whirlpool Nagato. Nagato's reincarnation eye is an existence that can truly resurrect others. For Nagato, Yi Fan did not have the slightest impression of him. A person who deceives his master and destroys his ancestors is not worthy of his eyes. In the last life, when Yi Fan browsed the forum, he would meet many people who were whitewashing Nagato. Every time they meet, Yi Fan has to fight with them. Even if Nagato has all kinds of reasons, the worst thing is to kill Jiraiya, which is why Yi Fan can't forgive Nagato. Not to mention, if it wasn't for Jiraiya who also rescued Nagato and the three of them and taught them all the skills, they would never have survived. But it is this kind of kindness, like the kindness that is recreated, and there is no hesitation when killing Zelaya. Even if there is a slight hesitation, Yi Fan will not hate Nagato and the others so much. He thought, if Yahiko hadn't died, maybe Nagato wouldn't have killed Jiraiya. Even Nagato was used, but he had a lot of options from beginning to end, and he didn't have to kill Jiraiya. But when you kill Jiraiya, you don't have to break up half-heartedly. Since the day Yi Fan came to this world, Nagato has been on his must-kill list. Little devil of Konoha, you are courting death. Everyone present here is garbage. Just after it fell, the eyes that gathered on Naruto immediately shifted to Yi Fan. This sentence is no longer a mere mockery, but a blatant insult. As the arrogance of each village, they came to Konoha to participate in the Chunin exam on behalf of their village, showing off their muscles. How could they tolerate such insults? At this moment, even Konoha's subordinates are staring at Yi Fan. Sasuke, in particular, was even more furious. Neji was also a little unhappy. He didn't expect that one day, he would also be scolded by a without the boundaries of blood and chakra, who could only practice body arts. But although Neji was upset, he didn't show it on his face like Sasuke did. His pride does not allow him to care about a garbage. He thinks that it is an insult to himself to care more about like Yi Fan. Others didn't think so. The moment that sentence fell, more than a dozen other villagers rushed to the stage. They were ready to teach a lesson to this ignorant boy, Yi Fan. Yi Fan looked at the group of people calmly, and even felt that he wanted to laugh. Anger that is not supported by strength is self-defeating. Naruto frowned. Although he also felt that Yi Fan's words were a little crazy, he still stood in front of Yi Fan without hesitation. Multiple shadow clone technique. Naruto shouted, and a dozen clones instantly appeared in the classroom. A group of clones rushed towards the dozen or so. Yi Fan didn't know whether to laugh or cry when he looked at Naruto, who made a decisive move. He originally wanted to give this group of people a slap in the face, but Naruto disrupted the plan. At the same time, Sasuke, who opened Urguyu's riding will eye, glared at Yi Fan, then turned around and shouted angrily at a dozen ninjas. His life is mine, and his life can only be taken by me. As for you, it is not qualified. Before he finished speaking, Sasuke threw a dozen shuriken and joined the battlefield. Evan. If Naruto's shot made him feel a little dumbfounded, Sasuke's shot was far beyond his expectations. It seems that Sasuke is not only good at pretending to escape, but also lacks social beatings, and his temper is indeed very axis. A dozen ninjas besieged Naruto and Sasuke, and although they were aggressive, they were no match for them. In just a few minutes, the dozen or so ninjas all fell at their feet. Humph, a bunch of trash. Sasuke patted the blood on his body, snorted coldly, walked slowly to Yi Fan, and said, "Wash your neck and wait to die." Naruto wiped the blood on his face, followed behind Sasuke, and said, "Sasuke, Yi Fan is a very good person, just let him go, he is really not of plague." In the crowd, Gaara saw Sasuke and Yi Fan's arrogant appearance, and smiled disdainfully. There was a faint overflow of sand in the gourd behind him, and he quickly ran towards them. Chapter 8 Sister controls Gaara. I love Luo. Seeing this, Kankuro hurriedly grabbed Gaara's hand to stop him from making a move. Gaara's method, as a big brother, he is very clear: as long as he makes a move, it is not just as simple as seeing blood. This Chunin exam was jointly organized by their village and Konoha village. If there is a dead person before the exam begins, it will definitely affect the relationship between the two villages. Open. Gaara turned his head to look at Kankuro. His eyes were cold to the bone, like a killing machine without any emotion. In his eyes, it seems that there is no such thing as family love at all. I love Luo, put away the gourd. Kankuro's tone was firm, and he was already determined to stop Gaara from attacking. Humph. Gaara snorted coldly, without saying a word, ran towards Yifan's sand in the gourd, turned around and ran towards Kankuro. Looking at the posture, he had to kill Kankuro first, and then kill Yifan. Seeing the sand flying towards him, Kankuro's expression changed greatly. He didn't expect that when Gaara attacked him, there was no hesitation. In the eyes of this younger brother, his own brother seems to be like a stranger who has nothing to do with him. I love Luo. Temari on the side, seeing that he was going to attack Kankuro, immediately shouted. Hearing this, Gaara slowly turned his head and glanced at Temari, silently put away the gourd, and stopped the movement in his hand. Ha, ha. At this time, Kankuro was panting heavily, sweating profusely. In the last moment, he really felt the breath of death. That feeling of suffocation still lingers in my heart to this day. All Gaara's actions were captured in Yifan's eyes. What is sister control? He has seen it today. Suddenly, a gust of wind blew in the classroom, blowing many people to the side. Ebizi appeared with a group of examiners, and as soon as he appeared, he gave everyone present a dismay. The hideous scar on Ebizi's face made some genin feel very scared. I count to 3. You each find the seat you want to sit. If you still haven't found a seat within this period of time, come back next year. Ebizi glanced at the audience, her voice was low, and she felt very oppressive. As soon as the words fell, the entire classroom turned into a pot of porridge for a while. Those who were not seated hurriedly searched for their partner at the fastest speed. Sasuke chose a vacant seat at random, and Sakura hurriedly sat beside him. Naruto was about to sit next to Sakura when someone from another village took the lead. Ebizi's voice echoed in his ears, and as the time was about to come, Naruto still hadn't found a place. At this moment, a very gentle voice sounded in his ear. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 7. Naruto-kun, come and sit here. Looking at the voice, Hinata with a blushing face buried her head deeply on the table. Saying this, I wonder how much courage she mustered up. The time was almost up, and Naruto didn't care about anything else, and rushed over with a single stride. Yifan, don't be stunned, you hurry over here too. Hearing this, Yifan shook his head. It was absolutely impossible for him to do something like a light bulb. Yifan glanced at Xiao Ying's direction, and strode over. The first test is to cheat. In his memory, Sakura could do all the questions. In this case, it is better to choose the principle of proximity, and do not need to spend other energy. Yifan, there is no place over there, come here quickly, or you will be eliminated. Naruto shouted anxiously when he saw him walking towards Sakura. Yifan ignored it, walked straight to Xiao Ying's side, waved his hand at will, and threw the person sitting beside her out. Sitting on the seat, Yifan's face was calm and there was no change. You! How dare you do this to me? The person who was thrown out yelled angrily. Yifan sat in his seat by himself, touching his chin, ignoring him completely. You give me. Before he could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Ebizi sharply, go out, you failed the exam. He was called out with those who were sitting in front of him and behind him. You wait to die, we will be waiting outside for you to come out. When the 3 of them left, they made a gesture of wiping their necks and worked hard. For the threat of the 3 of them, Yifan didn't take it to heart at all. Not to mention them, the of ninja in his heyday, Qianshou Juma, came, and Yifan was not afraid at all. A group of genin people sitting in the classroom were a little stunned when they saw this scene. How could it be so? Is it not a foul to force a position? The examiner Ibizi gave Yifan a deep look with sharp eyes. Yifan was sitting next to Xiao Ying. Xiao Ying's heart was chaotic, and he became crazy again for a while, and began to think wildly. He doesn't hesitate to offend the ninjas in other villages, and he wants to sit next to me. Does he like me? If he really likes me, what should I do? He and Sasuke are so handsome, it's hard to choose. However, he and Sasuke have a grudge. If I accept his confession, will Sasuke stop playing with me? Before she knew it, a blush rose on Xiao Ying's face, and she gave Yifan a shy peek. Seeing this, Yifan frowned and thought, is she taking aphrodisiac? She looks like she needs to be beaten. Everyone, the Chunin exam has started from the moment you enter the door. It's a pity that you met me, and many people are destined to fail the exam. On the podium, Ibizi spoke expressionlessly, took out a stack of test papers and put them on the table. Before doing the test paper, let me tell everyone that the rules of the Chunin exam this time have changed a little. Before, the Chunin exam had to be a group of 3 people to take the exam. This year is different. According to the discussion between Hokage-sama and Kazukichi-sama, as long as you sign up alone, you can also participate in this Chunin exam. This Chunin exam, there is a group like this. Ibizi pointed to Yifan, the one in the group is him, Uchiha Yifan. What? He's actually a member of the Uchiha clan? I didn't expect that there is a third Uchiha person in this world. When the people heard this, there was an uproar. Most of the people present didn't know Yifan's identity yet, and they were shocked when they found out. For a time, all eyes were on Yifan, and they carefully looked at Yifan's body. Uchiha's bloodline is well known in the entire ninja world. Writing round eyes is what they dream of. At this time, their minds were thinking about each other, and they were all thinking of different ideas. But it's just one, a Uchiha person without the boundaries of blood, just trash. Just when everyone was surprised, a sudden voice sounded, full of disdain. Chapter 9 Write the test paper yourself. Absolutely impossible. A Uchiha clan without the boundaries of blood? How could there be such a thing? Nonsense. Everyone knows that Konoha's Uchiha clan has a very powerful bloodline limit. You said he didn't have a bloodline limit, did he not wake up? A group of genin in the classroom began to discuss at length. Obviously, they didn't believe what the man said. Uchiha clansmen without the boundaries of blood? A Yunin village's genin frowned, as if he had remembered something. After a few seconds of silence, he was shocked and stared at Yifan in disbelief. You are the of plague that appeared in the Uchiha clan of Konoha village. Legend, since you were born, Konoha suffered from the Nine-Tails Rebellion, and then led to the destruction of the Uchiha clan. After such a reminder, many ninjas also remembered the rumor. At the beginning, there was a plague in Konoha village, which can be said to be resounding throughout the ninja world. Almost all villages have this story. They too, like many in Konoha, believed it to be true. How can there be such a coincidence in the world? There was the Nine-Tails Rebellion soon after birth, and Uchiha was destroyed soon after birth. This is not the of plague. What is the of plague? When Sasuke heard their words, he clenched his fists and gritted his teeth, almost unable to control his emotions. Their words were like a sharp blade, cutting his heart constantly. A flood of memories kept coming back to my mind. At this moment, Sasuke's mind is full of images of the night that Uchiha was destroyed. My stupid brother, you are too weak. Want revenge? Then hate me. The appearance of Uchiha Itachi was ingrained in his mind like a nightmare, as if it would never dissipate. Itachi's voice kept echoing in his mind, stimulating his soul. Evan. Without your presence, the Uchiha family would not be destroyed. If it weren't for you, Itachi would still be the good brother he used to be. Sasuke looked at Yifan, his mood was very unstable. Yifan glanced at Sasuke, a little helpless. He knew that no matter how he explained, no one would believe it. He doesn't want to explain. Looking at the emotional Sasuke, there seems to be a sentence written on his face: if you don't beat me up today, you won't want to leave here. The sudden thought made Yifan amused himself. As we all know, the most resistant person in the entire ninja world is Orochimaru. But in terms of resistance to beatings, if Orochimaru is the second, I am afraid that only Sasuke dares to be the first. Evan. Sasuke looked at him and laughed suddenly, unable to control himself any longer. With a loud roar, he punched him. Seeing this, Yi Fan tilted his head and hid behind Xiaoying. Sasuke, who attacked with all his strength, couldn't hold back his strength for a while, and punched Sakura firmly in the eyes. Boom! A crisp voice sounded, and Xiao Yingren was lying on the ground on her back, her left eye instantly turned into a panda eye, and tears ran across her cheeks. Sakura. Sasuke immediately took a step, wanting to help Sakura, but he stopped just after taking a step. Sasuke. How dare you hit Sakura with such a hard shot? Naruto looked at Sakura lying on the ground and was furious. Picking up the grapefruit was a multi-shadow avatar technique. More than 20 shadow clones swarmed toward Sasuke, as if to smash him into 10,000 pieces. Quiet. At this moment, an extremely gloomy voice sounded, and the chief examiner Ibushi looked unhappy. Naruto Uzumaki, Uchiha Sasuke, if you two still want to take the exam, sit down for me, if you don't, get out of here. While speaking, a powerful chakra burst out from Ibise's body, filling the entire classroom. A little bit reluctant to see this, was shivering with fright. In their eyes, Ibise's breath is too terrifying. Sasuke. Naruto pointed at him, stretched out his thumb and backhanded a few times, and sat back down again. With the end of this farce, the classroom was quiet again. Ibise gestured to the ninja beside him, and they quickly distributed all the test papers to everyone. In every corner of the classroom, an invigilator was sitting, watching their every move. Whoever participated in the Chunin exam would have thought that there would be a written exam. Looking at the questions on the test paper, many people frown and do not do it at all. If the test paper could not be written, it meant that the Chunin exam was a complete failure. Some people chose to take risks and started cheating by using various abilities. Sasuke opened the writing wheel and imitated other people's writing movements. Gaara used sand to form eyes, peeking at other people's answers. The sixth road toss of Yainin village obtained the answer through the audio generated by others' writing. In the small classroom, the people who participated in the Chunin exam were like the 8 immortals crossing the sea, each showing their magical powers. Everyone present, except Yi Fan and Naruto, were cheating. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 8. Naruto stared at the test paper with a frown, hollowing out his mind to think about the answer. However, no matter what he thought, he still couldn't write a word. He knew all the words on the test paper, but after forming a question, he didn't know it at all. Compared to Naruto's wrath, Yi Fan seemed very calm. Yi Fan didn't panic at all, just glanced at how much Sakura wrote from time to time. Although Xiaoying wears panda eyes and is not in such a good state, she is still a scholar after all. Those problems that were very difficult in the eyes of ordinary people were solved by her. In less than 20 minutes after the exam started, all the questions on the exam paper were written by her. Yi Fan looked at the dense words on Xiaoying's test paper and nodded with great satisfaction. He took another look at the situation on Sasuke's side, and Sasuke was still using the copy function of the shaker to imitate the actions of others. Seeing this, Yi Fan couldn't help shaking his head, thinking. Is Ertsuzi's brain short-circuited? He clearly has a scholar sitting next to him, but he has to use a writing wheel to copy the movements of the people in the front row. Yi Fan, haven't you written the question yet? Sakura glanced at his test paper, which was still blank, and couldn't help but question. Yi Fan smiled and said, what to write? Didn't I already write it? Immediately, Yi Fan grabbed Xiaoying's test paper, scribbled her name, and wrote his name. Seeing this scene, Xiao Sakura was a little stunned, feeling her head buzzing. After 2 or 3 seconds, Xiaoying finally reacted and said angrily, how did you grab my test paper? Just as Sakura was about to raise her hand to report to the examiner, she was struck by Ino's heart-turning technique. Ino, who had occupied Sakura's consciousness, stared blankly at the white paper in front of him, and everyone was numb. Isn't Sakura a scholar? Why didn't she write a word? So what has she been writing about just now? Ino doubted himself a little and was at a loss. She still has 2 teammates waiting for her to pass the answer, how did she pass anything? With the beginning of the exam, people in the classroom were caught cheating intermittently, and they were disqualified from the exam. Yi Fan's movements were very big, and he didn't go through any cover. His movements of grabbing the test papers were also enjoyed by the examiner IBI. Humph, can Uchiha clansmen who do not have the boundaries of blood, can only cheat by this lame method? Ibizi was very disdainful in her heart, picked up the pen and crossed out Yi Fan's name, and then said, Uchiha Yi Fan, cancel the qualification for the Chunin exam. Hearing this, Yi Fan didn't even lift his head, just sat on his seat. Ibi was delighted to see this, her brows furrowed, and she felt very unhappy in her heart. With a wave of his hand, the 3 Chunin invigilators for this exam walked towards Yi Fan in a mighty manner, wanting to forcibly expel Yi Fan. Chapter 10. Uchiha Yi Fan, because of cheating, you have lost the qualification for this Chunin exam, leave the exam venue quickly. The 3 Chunin walked up to Yi Fan, and a large amount of chakra erupted from his body, which was very obvious. In an instant, everyone's eyes were focused on this place. Naruto gritted his teeth, not believing that Yi Fan would do such a thing. The other Genin looked at Yi Fan playfully, showing a look of ridicule, as if watching the fun and not taking it too seriously. Hey, a Uchiha who has no bloodline limit can only use this lame cheating method. A lot of people look down on Yi Fan very much, and they all think that he is just a waste without Uchiha's blood. Yi Fan sat in his seat, motionless, and ignored the threats from the 3 invigilators. Looking at Yi Fan's appearance, they frowned and were furious in their hearts. Uchiha Yi Fan, I limit you to leave the exam venue within 10 seconds, otherwise don't blame us for forcibly taking you out. At that time, if the hand is broken or the foot is broken, we will not be blamed. The invigilators of the 3 Chunin exams slapped the table with a slap, and the table was instantly torn apart. Sakura with panda eyes took a deep breath when she saw this scene. She clearly felt the pressure from the 3 invigilators. She can be sure that the 3 invigilators didn't joke with Yi Fan at all. If Yi Fan didn't go out, he would definitely break his hands and feet. The turbulent chakra, floating in the air, surrounds Yi Fan, and it seems that it is possible to attack him at any time. Yi Fan slowly raised his head and looked directly at the 3 of them, his eyes seemed extremely calm, not changing at all because of their threat. Who are you calling out? Uchiha Yi Fan, are you sure you want to pretend to be with us? One of the invigilators, unable to contain the anger in his heart, clenched his fists. If it wasn't for the fact that the 3rd Hokage changed the rules of the Chunin exam because of him, he would have punched him long ago. Yi Fan spread his hands helplessly and pretended to be blank. His acting skills were comparable to Kun who had practiced for 2.5 years. He questioned. You asked Uchiha Yi Fan to go out. What does it have to do with my daily wear steel Yi Fan? Yi Fan threw the test paper in front of them, and the words, Yi Fan, appeared brightly in their field of vision. You. The invigilators were furious, realizing that they were being played by Yi Fan as a monkey. Ibis, who was sitting on the pulpit, was also very angry at this time. For the first time in so many years, he was played by a child like this. Ibizi decided to give Yi Fan a good look and let him understand that this is Konoha. Ibizi gave the 3 invigilators a look, and they instantly understood the meaning. The 3 nodded, and instantly stretched out their hands to grab Yi Fan, to force Yi Fan to subdue. On the 3 hands, they are all wrapped with chakra. Chakra is as sharp as a sharp blade. If it falls on an ordinary person, it will definitely see blood. Their speed was very fast, and they came to Yi Fan in the blink of an eye, and they were attacking back and forth, which was hard to prevent. In the face of these 3 pairs of sharp-edged hands, Yi Fan took no hassle and avoided them with a flash. Immediately, Yi Fan started to fight back. I saw him raise his hand slightly and attack the 3 invigilators. When they saw that Yi Fan was delusional to resist, the corners of their mouths rose, revealing a disdainful smile. In their opinion, Yi Fan's attack with them like this is no different from an egg hitting a stone. However, what happened next second shocked them. The moment Yi Fan's hand touched theirs, their hand wrapped in chakra was as fragile as paper and broke instantly. In less than a second, the 3 invigilators, the invigilators with Chunin strength, all lay on the ground, showing very painful expressions. Puff. The three people lying on the ground vomited a mouthful of blood at the same time and lost consciousness. In an instant, the entire classroom fell into a dead silence and became extremely quiet. Most of the people couldn't believe their eyes. They couldn't believe that Yi Fan had beaten 3 Chunin in an instant. After the silence, there was a commotion in the classroom. Yi Fan. His strength is so strong. That's 3 Chunin, you can't even take one of his moves. How did he do it? I didn't even see how he did it. Shaoli stared at Yi Fan in disbelief. The strength shown by Yi Fan has far surpassed him. Even if he is very close to Yi Fan, and he has turned on the Sharingan, he can only capture a trace of afterimage. Xiao Ying, who was sitting beside Yi Fan, stared like a copper bell, and her whole body was shaking. She was very fortunate that when Yi Fan grabbed her exam paper, she didn't do anything drastic. Otherwise, the person lying on the ground now is probably himself. Up to now, she doesn't think that Yi Fan is probably sitting beside her because she likes her. The reason why I chose to sit beside me is to grab my exam papers. Naruto looked at Yi Fan and swallowed silently. I haven't seen it for many years. Is Yi Fan's strength already so strong? The 3 Chunin are so vulnerable in front of him. What have you experienced over the years? The cultivation of physical skills is very difficult, and Yi Fan's physical training has reached such a level that the hardships he has paid are unknown. Suddenly, Naruto felt sorry for Yi Fan and his childhood friend. After defeating the 3 Chunin, the other 7 or 8 invigilators in the classroom immediately surrounded him, all of them staring at Yi Fan aggressively. Yi Fan was able to instantly defeat the strength of the 3 Chunin, so that they did not dare to be underestimated, and they were all ready to fight. Yi Fan glanced at them, stood up slowly, and stretched. The act of stretching their waists shocked them for a while, and hurriedly took a few steps back. At a certain moment, they thought it was Yi Fan who was going to shoot. Yi Fan looked at them harmlessly, and said calmly, "Are you so afraid of me? I'm just a small character who isn't even a ninja." Hearing this, all the invigilators blushed and felt very ashamed. Before that, they never thought that one day they would be frightened by such a kid. Moreover, in front of so many people, in front of ninjas from various ninja villages. An invigilator couldn't bear it any longer, and quickly made a seal, water escape water dragon ball technique. A water dragon spit out from his mouth, killing Yi Fan with powerful force. Yi Fan glanced at him and smiled disdainfully. This level of ninjutsu really made him less interested. Hand escape, the technique of forcing the pocket. Yi Fan laughed loudly, slapped the water dragon with a slap, and slapped the invigilator's face firmly. The invigilator's body, like a kite with a broken string, hit the wall uncontrollably. "You guys, let's go together." Yi Fan turned his head and looked at the other invigilators. Chapter 11 The Powerful Jiraiya. Jilai, your apprentice is not simple. In the Konoha Hokage room, the 3 generations of Hokage Sarutobi Hizen looked at the picture in the crystal ball with a solemn expression. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 9. The strength shown by Yi Fan has far exceeded the level of Chunin. Being able to make several Chunin in seconds, this kind of strength has reached the level of Jonin. Yi Fan's identity is special and powerful, and the 3rd generation is a little worried that he will threaten the peace that Konoha has finally brought. After all, Yi Fan was still very young, and he had such strength. No one knows what he can achieve in the future. Oh. Ha ha ha. That kid's strength is not bad. Training it well, it can play a huge role in Konoha's peace in the future. Zilai also sat carelessly across from the 3rd generation, laughing. The reason why he came here is to allow the senior officials of Konoha to accept Yi Fan's return. However, he still heard a slight overtone from the tone of the 3rd generation. Obviously, the 3rd generation did not believe in Yi Fan. However, Jiraiya can also understand the thoughts of the 3 generations. After all, no matter how Yi Fan changed his name, it wouldn't change the fact that he was a descendant of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha. Shimura Danzo frowned and his eyes were not good. He was originally dissatisfied with one of the descendants of Uchiha among Konoha, but now there is another, which makes him even more angry. A long time ago, Danzo had told Sandai that if the grass was to be eradicated, Uchiha Sasuke must also be killed before Konoha could usher in true peace. And no matter how he mentioned this matter, it was rejected by 3 generations, and even secretly sent someone to protect Sasuke's safety. This made him very incomprehensible. You must know that when he decided to completely eradicate the Uchiha family, although he did not report the 3 generations, the 3 generations knew about it. He didn't understand that when the entire Uchiha clan was eradicated, 3 generations could open one eye and close one eye. When it came time to eradicate Sasuke, the 3 generations were strictly prohibited. Uchiha Yi-Fan's strength is comparable to the first among his peers. He is very dangerous. Danzang stared at the crystal ball with murderous intent, not caring who he was. In his eyes, anyone who threatens the stability of the village, no matter who they are, has only one fate. Die. If other Uchiha clansmen appeared, Danzo was not so worried. However, it was Yi-Fan who appeared. At the beginning, Danzo deliberately spread Yi-Fan as the of plague, causing the Uchiha family to force his parents to death. Danzo knows that there is no airtight wall in the world. If Yi-Fan knew about this, Yi-Fan would never let it go. Although he also knew that Yi-Fan did not have a bloodline limit and could not condense chakra to practice ninjutsu, he would never allow a trace of instability to appear. Hearing this, Zilai also said with an ugly face, I know Yi-Fan's temperament very well. He will never do anything that threatens the stability of the village. After so many years of getting along with each other, Jiraiya knows everything about Yi-Fan very well. Although Yi-Fan is a descendant of the Uchiha family, he does not have that much hatred for Konoha, and he has never shown any dissatisfaction with Konoha. On the contrary, for a long period of time, Yi-Fan had told him about Naruto more than once. Of course, Jiraiya knew very well who Naruto was. He even took the name at that time. You will never do anything to threaten the village. Jiraiya, you know Yi-Fan so well. Danzang slowly got up and said. Humanity is the most difficult thing in the world to understand. I can't tolerate any accident. Yi-Fan, you must die. Danzo looked directly at Jiraiya, showing his attitude. The 3 generations sat on the main seat without words, and their attitude was a little hesitant. He also knew that Tuanzang spread that Yi-Fan was the of plague. He can't guarantee that if Yi-Fan finds out about this one day, what will happen to Konoha. Jiraiya is also his disciple. Of course, he believed in Jiraiya unconditionally, but now it was Yi-Fan who came back, which had to make him think carefully. Yi-Fan must die. Jiraiya slapped the table with a violent palm, and the table instantly cracked into pieces of debris. Tuanzang, Yi-Fan is my disciple, and I understand the nature of the heart best. Could it be that you sentence him to death just because he is a descendant of Uchiha? Danzo, you are such a powerful official. Jiraiya also squinted at Danzo without caring about his identity at all. As soon as the words fell, 7 or 8 members of the group emerged from behind the regiment, staring at Jiraiya, and the threat was very obvious. The attitudes of the 2 sides became tense for a while, and it seemed that a war might break out at any time. Looking at the 7 or 8 members, Jiraiya was not afraid at all. How could he be frightened by such a small scene, having experienced countless trials of life and death? When Konoha was just founded, the attitude of the first Hokage towards the Uchiha family was not the same as it is now. Since the 2nd generation, the Uchiha family has lived in dire straits until after the genocide. I still think that the policy of the original Hokage was correct. But that is in the past after all, and there is no need to mention it now, but you can't kill everyone with one shot. What's more, Yi-Fan is still my disciple. Jiraiya, do you know what you are talking about now? Danzo was furious when he heard the words. Jiraiya's inner and outer meanings are all saying that his teacher, the 2nd generation Hokage Senju Tobirama, did something wrong. As a Danzo who inherited the 2nd generation Hokage's ideas, Jiraiya cannot be allowed to slander the 2nd generation at all. The decision of the 2nd generation is not something you can criticize. Take him. Jiraiya also travels abroad all the year round. I seriously suspect that he has betrayed Konoha. With a big wave of Danzo's hand, Gen's people rushed towards Jiraiya without any hesitation. The rude people didn't care at all that the 3 generations were next to them. In their hearts, Danzo's orders are above everything else, and even Hokage's orders cannot be controlled. Stop! The 3 generations were displeased and roared. However, even though Sarutobi Hidden gave the order, the root man still did not stop, and still killed Jiraiya. In the face of the siege of 7 or 8 people, Zillai also looked calm, and he overturned all of them in 3 or 2 moves, and even ninjutsu was useless. Gen's people wanted to attack again, but they were blocked by Umbu's people. The 3 generations stared at Danzo and said, "Is it possible that I, Hokage, can't even order you? Jilai is also traveling abroad. I personally approved it. Whether he is a traitor or not is not something you decide with a single word. Get out." With the order of Danzo, all the talents of the roots left. Seeing this scene, the 3 generations had a lot of thoughts in their hearts, but they didn't think too much. He knew that although Danzo had selfishness, he would never betray Konoha. Humph. Zillai also snorted coldly, waved his sleeves, and strode out of the house. When Danzo passed by, he left a sentence, "Tuanzo, if one day I find out that you have done something sorry for Konoha, I will never be soft on you. As for you want to take Yifan's life, if you have the ability, go for it." Danzo looked at the back of Jiraiya leaving, gritted his teeth, and made a general decision in his heart. The 3rd generation glanced at Danzo and said, "About Yifan, we need to take a long-term view. Without my order, don't act on your own initiative." After speaking, the eyes of the 3 generations of Hokage fell on the crystal ball again, watching the situation of the Chunin exam. Chapter 12 Root Shots. 3 generations, Jiraiya has been away from the village for too long. We have no idea what he did during these years. We have to guard against it. With Jiraiya's departure, after Umbu and Gen's people left, Sarutobi Hizen and Shimura Danzo were left in the Hokage room. Danzo's face was full of worry, Jiraiya's strength was strong, and now he was mixed with the descendants of the Uchiha clan, so he had to think about this aspect. You don't have to worry about this. Jiraiya is absolutely loyal to Konoha. He is my apprentice and I know him well. 3 generations, this is not necessarily true. Orochimaru is not also your apprentice. In the end, he has not betrayed the village. Hearing this, the 3rd Hokage raised his head and stared at Danzo, his face became very ugly. Danzo's words touched the sad part of his heart. Originally, he planned to pass the position of the 4th Hokage to Orochimaru, but he did not expect Orochimaru to choose to betray Konoha. This matter, even after a long time has passed, he still can't let go. Jiraiya is also different from Orochimaru. I said that Jiraiya can't betray Konoha. Also, I warn you, don't touch Yifan and Sasuke. If you let me know that you secretly shot Yifan and Sasuke, I will never let you go. The 3 generations of Hokage suddenly regretted at this time, and regretted that he had done so many dirty things before letting Danzo go. Until now, he suddenly realized that what Zillai also said was not without reason. Perhaps, for the handling of the Uchiha family, the method of the 1st Hokage is the most correct. Looking at Danzo sitting across from him, the 3 generations remembered the Ninetales rebellion. If he hadn't listened to Danzo's words, let the Uchiha family also participate in the quelling of the Ninetales rebellion. Perhaps there would not be such a big gap between the Uchiha clan and Konoha, and perhaps there would not be the subsequent Uchiha rebellion. Perhaps, the 4 generations of Hokage Wave Foam Minato will not die so young. You go out. The 3 generations of Hokage sighed and issued an expulsion order. Danzo gave Sandai a deep look, feeling a little helpless in his heart. The character of the 3 generations of Hokage, after so many years, has not changed at all, still so indecisive, still so indecisive. The determination you can't make, I'll make it for you, the person you can't kill, I'll kill for you. Konoha, never allow any unstable factors to appear. As soon as they left the Hokage room, Danzong rushed to the route non-stop, and personally mobilized a group of people to prepare to attack Yifan. As soon as the Chunin exam is over, Yifan will be assassinated immediately. Yifan's strength reached the level of Shang ninjutsu when he could not use any ninjutsu. If he could use ninjutsu in the future, would it still be worth it? Danzo knew that Jiraiya had always been looking for a way to condense chakra for Yifan. Jiraiya is also very powerful, maybe one day he can really find that kind of method. Danzo made up his mind that all unstable factors must be strangled in the cradle before Yifan really grew up. Danzo waved his hand, and a rooted Jonin saw him beside him. Every move of Zilai in the village, you have to report it all, even if he ate a few meals and what dishes he ate, you must not miss a word. Follow your orders, Danzo-sama. After that Hunin received the order, he immediately went out to monitor Jiraiya's whereabouts. I'm a Saiyan, you say I have no blood following limit. Chapter 10. Although the root is on the surface, it is to cultivate talents for the Umbu directly under Hokage, but in fact it is an organization that cultivates its own power. Until now, in the Umbu directly under Hokage, there are still many undercover agents he has placed in them. At the Chunin exam venue, a group of invigilators surrounded Yifan. The shaman in the surrounding villages all made room for them. They have seen Yifan's strength, and they are also worried that they will be involved. Most of the genin who were present in the exam felt a little frightened. But there are also a few mouths raised, paying attention to this farce. Gaara stared at Yifan with a sinister smile on the corner of his mouth. Yifan's actions evoked the militant cells in his body. If it wasn't for his elder sister Temari, who was chattering on the side, he would have fought against Yifan long ago. Tu looked at the situation here, pushed his glasses, and was considering whether to continue giving up this Chunin exam. Yifan's body, in his opinion, is more suitable for today's Orochimaru. Niji observed the situation here, and secretly compared the strength between himself and Yifan. He was thinking, if he met Yifan, what kind of method should he use in order to win? As for Shaoli, he was already a little stunned. He suddenly realized that what he had said before, that Yifan's strength was on a par with him, seemed a little too early. He is very clear about his strength, even if the firepower is full, it is impossible for a few Chunin in seconds. Uchiha Yifan. Shaoli clenched his fists tightly, his eyes fell on Yifan through the gap, and he said firmly, we are both ninjas who practice taijutsu, I must surpass you. You can't get on, if you can't get on, I'm going to shoot. Yifan, who had waited for about half a minute, was already a little impatient. The invigilators surrounding Yifan exchanged glances and secretly formulated tactics. Even if the other party is still a kid who is not even a shinobi, they have to pay attention to the record. They knew that if they were themselves, it was absolutely impossible to achieve that level. Several people looked at each other and decided to control Yifan first, and then make other plans. Earth escape. Just as they were about to shoot, there was a sudden applause in their ears. Everyone looked for the voice and saw that it was Ebizi, who had always been sitting on the pulpit without saying a word. Good, very good. Ebizi temporarily changed the previously set passing rules and smiled. Uchiha. No, Nippon Steel, Yifan, you have passed this exam, you can go first, the next exam will be in the Forest of Death. Immediately, Ibixi turned his eyes and landed on the others, and said with a smile. The same is true for you. If you can defeat the 3 invigilators at the same time, you can pass the test directly. If you can't do it, just sit down honestly and continue with the next exam. Yifan heard the words, clapped his hands, and walked out of the classroom calmly. To participate in this Chunin exam, the Forest of Death is his real goal. He wants to capture Orochimaru in the Forest of Death. As for promotion or not, it means nothing to him. In this world, whoever has the bigger fist has the final say. Fundamentally, it has nothing to do with whether it is Chunin, Shangnin, etc. Everyone looked at the back of Yifan's departure, and their hearts were restless, eager to try. How is it, do you have a challenge? Ebizi selected 3 invigilators to come out and ask everyone. After a pause, he continued to add, Yifan is in a group of 1, and you are in a group of 3. You can go together with 3 of you. However, I can state in advance that if we become short of arms and legs during the battle, our Konoha will not be responsible. As soon as he finished speaking, Gaara stood up first, and Kankuro and Temari also stood up after seeing this. The 2 sides didn't say much, and a fight broke out between them. They were in full swing in the classroom, and Yifan had already reached the door of the Forest of Death. Humph, the root man. Are you trying to kill me so soon? As soon as Yi Fan left the classroom, he sensed that 5 or 6 people were following him secretly. If you want to kill me, you have to see if you have the ability. Yi Fan whispered and deliberately chose a remote place to go. Chapter 13. Yi Fan takes action and crushes the roots. The 5 or 6 Shangren at the root were overjoyed when they saw Yi Fan walking towards a remote place. They were worrying about Yi Fan quietly, but they didn't expect Yi Fan to take the initiative to provide the opportunity, and someone sent a pillow when they were really drowsy. The leader's root, Hunin, made a gesture, signaling the other 5 to follow. Be gentle, don't be discovered by Yi Fan. Lord Danzo said that his strength is very strong. Let us deal with it carefully and never leave evidence. Oh, it's just a little kid, how strong he can be, killing him is just a matter of sprinkling water, it's Danzang-sama's overthinking. One of the Shangren rolled his eyes and said indifferently, not taking Yi Fan to heart at all. Obviously, his words were approved by several other people. This time, they came to 6 Shangnen, and they couldn't think of how to fight to lose. Although they didn't say it on the surface, they still thought that Danzo had done a little too much. After all, they were only dealing with a kid who took the Chunin exam. This kind of thinking, including the person in the lead, feels this way. However, he still reminded, Yi Fan is the apprentice of Jiraiya, one of the legendary 3 ninjas, and a descendant of the Uchiha clan. We must not be careless. Captain, he's just a Uchiha who has no bloodline boundaries. Even if he has a shaker, he can only be crushed by us under his absolute strength. You worry too much, let's finish the task and leave quickly. I don't want to spend too much time on such a low-level task. This sentence, when it came to the hearts of the other people, all speeded up their pace. 2 waves of people. The other wave is Umbu directly under Hokage. Yi Fan, who was walking towards the remote place, sensed a new team of people. It seems that the 3 generations really can't tolerate me, so do you want to take action against me? Since you're here, just stay here. Yi Fan looked around and saw a falling waterfall not far away, thinking. The scenery here is not bad, let's use it as the burial place for all of you. In 2 breaths, Yi Fan came to the foot of the waterfall, then turned to look at the big tree not far away. Hidden above the tree at the 6 roots, Jonin saw this, the corners of his mouth rose, and he sneered, it seems that he has discovered us. They knew that they had been discovered, so they simply stopped hiding and walked out generously. Yi Fan, you shouldn't have come back. If you don't come back, you might be able to survive for a few more years. The leader put his hands in his pockets, and there was a biting cold breath in his words. Don't talk nonsense with him, he's just a Uchiha who has no boundaries of blood, kill me earlier and have to go back to take a nap. The talking Jonin had a dog's tail grass in his mouth, and his eyes were full of disdain. Hearing this, Yi Fan felt speechless. Really convinced these old sixths, Lao Tzu is a Saiyan, and everyone who arrests says that Lao Tzu has no blood succession limit. Is the blood following the limit awesome? No matter how awesome the bloodline limit is, can it compare to Lao Tzu's Saiyan bloodline? Pooh! The man spit the dog's tail grass on the ground and quickly formed a seal. Water escape water prison technique. Water escape water Dragon Ball technique. 2 ninjutsu, almost instant. In an instant, a water prison appeared out of thin air and bound Yi Fan. On the other side, there was another water dragon with a manic aura, quickly killing Yi Fan. There is a big waterfall next to it, and the power of these 2 ninjutsu has also been greatly improved. Finished, call it a day. Seeing that Yi Fan was so easy, the man was bound by the water prison technique, and felt very boring in an instant. The rest of the root-level ninjas felt that they were too boring to see that the water dragon had already killed Yi Fan. They haven't made a move yet. Of the 6 Shangnen from the root, none of them thought that Yi Fan could take this move. This may be the easiest task we've ever done. There are 2 root Jounin, who have turned around and are about to leave this place. Wudun Wood Ingot Wall. Just when the water dragon was about to touch Yi Fan was suddenly wrapped in pieces of wood and protected. The water dragon with terrifying power slammed on the wooden ingot wall with a bang, and was blocked by the wooden ingot wall. Mu done. Yamato is here. Could it be that the people from Umbu did not come to kill me, but to protect me? For a while, Yifan was a little confused, and he couldn't figure out why the 3 generations sent Umbu to protect him. Umbu is a department directly under Hokage, and no one can mobilize except Hokage. Could it be that Jiraiya also went to see the 3 generations? Yifan guessed in his heart, then shook his head with a smile. Jiraiya, you always do this every time. During the years of traveling with Jiraiya, Yifan discovered more than once that Jiraiya was also secretly protecting himself. Perhaps, I can also be the son of prophecy in your heart. As soon as this thought came to mind, it was dispelled by Yifan. The most important thing is to resurrect his parents. He doesn't want to worry about peace in the ninja world for now. Yifan's parents all died for him, and Yifan didn't want to owe them too much. Tianzeng. The 6 Shaman at the root recognized the user's identity the moment they saw Mudun. Looking at the entire Konoha village, apart from Tianzeng who can use Muduan, there is no other person at all. Tianzeng is Umbu's business, they are very clear.